Enter Jimmy Kimmel. Okay. So the last time that President Biden spoke with anybody of note, one-on-one, was a Super Bowl interview with Lester Holt of NBC News. Okay, so that was in early February. It's now early June. Don't talk to anybody. But Jimmy Kimmel is based in LA, so the president went on his program. Roll the tape.
Our very special guest tonight is to aviator sunglasses what Tom Cruise is to aviator sunglasses. I'm proud to say I voted for him dozens of times. He is the reason we all got a cavity search tonight. Please welcome the 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden. Thank you for coming, sir. I'm honored to have you here. A pleasure to have you here.
Good to be here, man.
Now, you know, look at that.
Got my wife standing.
Your wonderful, the wonderful First Lady is here tonight. Your granddaughter is here tonight. Hello. How nice that the First Lady came along.
Oh, she did. She just made the commencement speech at Los Angeles Community College.
Yes.
Oh,
By the way, I'm
nice.
Joe Biden's husband. She's right there.
Welcome. It's wonderful to have you here.
So if you're surprised by the ovation, don't be. There was a deal made, and this happens all the time, whereby the crowd at the Kimmel program were all Biden supporters. It's not like random people showed up and got a ticket. No. It were all the Democratic activists in LA. That's who was there. So it's not spontaneous. They stacked the crowd, seated the crowd is how they used it. Okay. And Kimmel himself, he's a liberal guy, likes Joe Biden, and it was a fairly serious interview, okay? But it dealt with things that were in Biden's wheelhouse, and believe me when I tell you, the questions were known in advance. So the first one is about gun violence. Go.
We were here in September of 2019, and one of the things we talked about at length was gun violence, and you said that we need to do something about this gun violence, particularly when it comes to our schools. And here we are, a couple years later. We're halfway through this year already. There have been, what, 27 shootings at schools? I guess, I mean, just to get into it, why haven't we done anything about this?
Well, I think a lot of it's intimidation by the NRA. And look, this is not your father's Republican Party. This is a MAGA party. It's a very different Republican Party. And so you find people who are worried, I believe, that if they vote for rational gun policy, they're going to be primaried, and they're going to lose in a hard right Republican primary.
Okay, so Biden's doing the same thing that conservatives do. Conservatives say he's a captive of the far left. He's an extreme as president, which Biden is. And now he's using that, saying, oh, we don't get any gun legislation because it's a MAGA party, far-right party. All right, politics as usual. I mean, that's what it is. Now, Kimmel says, I voted for you dozens of times. Does that mean you live in Delaware, Jimmy? How did that happen? Or maybe he voted in the last election. Kimmel did dozens of times. If that's the case, then we need to know about it. Okay. So now Biden falls back into rank propaganda when Kimmel asked him about the economy.
Look, here's where we are. We have the fastest growing economy in the world. We have 8.6 million new jobs just since I got in office. Unemployment rate's down to 3.6%. We've reduced the deficit last year by $320 billion. This year, we're going to reduce it by $1.7 trillion.
Right.
And so we're the strongest economy, and that's allowed us at least to stay on top of and a little bit ahead of what's happening around the world.
Okay, so that's just ridiculous, but Kimmel doesn't know it. And I'm not disparaging Jimmy. I kind of like Jimmy. He was respectful to me when I was on his program. So Biden continues to say we have 8.6 million new jobs. Well, he takes it from when the economy was stalled completely in April of 2021 when COVID shut everything down. That's his starting point. All right, so it was massive unemployment then because everybody couldn't go to work. Remember? And then government had to send people checks so they could survive. That's where Biden starts. So now that COVID is pretty much over in the marketplace anyway, then he's adding that up, which is totally disingenuous. It's a sleight of hand. And then he says that we're cutting the deficit by $1.7 trillion. Well, you're not cutting anything. We have record government spending. What has happened is that the federal government now takes in $3 trillion in tax money. So we have the highest tax rates we've had in years. And corporations and individuals are paying the government an enormous amount of money. All right, so the deficit, because we have more tax money flowing in because of Biden's policy, taxing everybody up to here, goes down. Do we all understand what it is? But Jimmy, you can't expect him to. You can't. But Biden never sit for an interview with me in a million years because I just cut this stuff right to the quick. All right, one more, okay? This is about inflation. Go.
But here's the deal. You know, my dad used to say every family needs a little bit of breathing room. If you take and look at all the costs that a family has on a monthly basis, it also includes health care, prescription drugs, child care, all those things. What I'm proposing and I think we can get it done, I'm proposing that we, in fact, reduce the cost of those things.
Okay, you're not going to get it done because it's socialized medicine. That's what Biden is saying. He's going to put government price controls on prescription drugs. Now, for some people, that is a good thing because prescription drugs are very expensive. But if you have Medicare and you have private health insurance, the insurance and the Medicare take care of a lot of it. But what Biden wants is for the government to run the medical industry, all right? Socialized medicine. So the government will tell the pharmaceutical companies, you charge this. That will dry up research and development. We're making, as we reported earlier this week, a lot of inroads in cancer, fighting cancer. Well, that stops cold if the government is setting the prices for the pharmaceutical companies. Now, to be fair, a lot of the pharmaceutical companies gouge. And their rationale for that is, well, we spend so much money in research and development, we have to charge $11,000 for a dose to fight rectal cancer, which is what they're doing. And that's crazy. The government should have negotiating power in this, but socialized medicine in this country is not going to happen, although Biden would be fine with it. All right, so all in all, that interview with Jimmy Kimmel got the country nowhere. All right, it didn't advance anything. And it's not going to improve Biden's standing. He knew the questions in advance. They stacked the room with Democratic activists. You know, what can I tell you? I know how this all works. I'm sure most of you didn't waste your time on it.